right customer on time, every time. That is not customer care, ladies and gentlemen. That's our job. This is what our customers expect these days. So that is not customer care. Then let's look and see how the management relate to the staff. Most customer care programs that are ever talked about work from the company towards the customer. From the company to the customer. But who actually delivers customer care? And ladies and gentlemen, that of course is the staff that deliver customer care. So are our staff motivated, enthusiastic? Are they enjoying their working environment? Do they feel cared for? Has the managers been trained how to manage and motivate and inspire the staff? Because if the staff aren't happy and working in a conducive environment, that the management is good, there's no way are they going to deliver customer care. So the diagram here is it starts with a company in its relationship and care for its staff, and the management styles, the motivational styles, the recognition styles, the support styles, the working environment styles. I was with one particular client a little while ago who had monumental problems. They were calling us in because so much of our work is working with clients to develop their whole program. And we go from the small to the large corporations. This particular organization had a very bad recession. They'd had to lose something like 250 of their staff out of a total workforce of just on 500 during the recession. Their marketplace was immensely competitive. As the recession came to the end, they developed a new product. They launched this new product on the marketplace, and it took off like a rocket. Became an absolutely incredible demand product. And the marketplace just was buying, customers were buying them. So they had to take on a lot more staff. We were called in because they were now experiencing something in excess of 40% warranty claims. They were experiencing 9% absenteeism. Now, instead of making incredible profits, they were still losing money, and they shouldn't have been losing money. And I discovered a number of different things. I found the working conditions were appalling. I went into the loos. They were dreadful. The working environment was bad. There was a them and us culture. Too many of the people were on only time work as against being given full employment, because the management, because of recession, because of having to make redundancy, were war wounded. The managers, any manager who has to make anybody ever redundant, it is the most dreadful thing a manager has to do, apart from the person that's been made redundant. The managers were battle scarred and were war wounded and were terrified to take on new permanent staff just in case. So they had a far too high proportion of only hourly paid workers. Hourly paid workers couldn't get a staff. And so we did a number of things. We put everybody into a uniform. Management right the way down through. Name of the company on one pocket, individual names here. We cleaned up all the loos. We put in a catering area so all the people could eat together in a nice facilities and well subsidized. Absenteeism dropped right the way back down to the acceptable level of about 2% that it was, and we almost reduced the warranty claim over a period of time, and we took on so many of those hourly paid into full-time employment. And the company is rocketing today, absolutely rocketing as it's going on into the future. So how we care as a management to our staff is an integral first stage of then developing this whole cycle, how we look after our own people. We've talked about a little bit about the management perspective of managing our staff, but now let's talk about the internal relationships that go on. Who do you and I provide a service to internally? For example, I have to provide a service in my business to two key people. One is my personal assistant, Kathy Noon, and it's my job to provide her with an outstanding service. If she takes a call and promises that I'm going to phone that person back, if I don't, I let her down and she's going to get another call which wastes her time. She has to provide me with information so I know where I'm going. So she provides me with a service, I in turn provide her with a service. She needs her dictation done at a certain time of the day so she can plan her day out to use her time really well and know the workload of the day. So my job is to provide her with a very good service, she has to in turn provide me with a good service. The other key person I have to work with in my organization is my sales manager, Julian Capewell. I have to provide Julian with a service in as much as if he wants a decision or information and I don't give it to him, he can't do his job effectively. He in turn provides me with a service because I need information in order to make the right decisions. So he in turn has to provide me with a good service. So all of us in business start off by having to give a service to each other. How we work with our colleagues, maybe in our own department, then how do departments work with other departments? How do we actually work with each other is so important to get this bit right. Then we can start to look at the external service that we provide to our external clients and our customers, who of course pay our accounts and give us the revenue. So let's start off with a few thoughts on these. What is the internal goal? Do all of you or do your staff know what the goal is for the week, for the month, for the year? Because if we don't know what the goal is, it's very difficult to have direction. You know the old saying, a person going nowhere normally gets there. So it is absolutely essential for us all to know what the goal is. If I said to any of your staff, what is the goal for this week? What's the goal for the month? Could they tell me? You'll be relieved to hear that is another rhetorical question. But it is so important for us to be very clear-minded on what the goal is. We've looked at the customer who pays us the money. We've looked at the customer internally. But there's another major customer that we often neglect, and they're definitely treated as the enemy, and that is our suppliers, ladies and gentlemen. Our suppliers. Now, it is extraordinary when we start to look at our suppliers and develop the relationship with our suppliers, how this in turn can help us to perform more effectively. Because if our suppliers don't deliver you the right products on time, it makes it impossible for you to manufacture or produce and deliver on time. And we are finding, again, with working with so many of our clients, that the relationship between the organization and their suppliers, not only is it sometimes actually rotten, is very bad and uncaring. One must set out with one's suppliers to give them the rules, the goalposts. This is how we expect you to perform. So many buyers are untrained these days, and they think to buy, the one thing you ought to do, buy at the cheapest possible rate. Carve them down to the bone. Carve them down. The fact they don't deliver the right goods, well, never mind about that. We've carved it. So they can't make a profit. Let's drive them out of business. Hey, that's not good buying. It's much bigger than that. And so again, it's important that our buyers are trained. And again, that the supplier knows the rules. And beyond those rules, if they break those rules on your terminology, so many people only operate on the supplier's contract as against your contract of terms, and there has to be a marrying together there. So we work with our suppliers so they know what our expectations are of the right product. So I get it, another of our clients is having too much of their products that come in, and they're a reseller, so they buy in and sell straight on, and it's a departmental chain, and they get so much of the products that come in are faulty. Well, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable today, ladies and gentlemen. But they don't tell the suppliers fast enough or quick enough and haul them in and work with them. And it's cost them an enormous amount of money, and it makes their own customers dissatisfied because they can't then deliver to the customers, because then they're waiting because they've had to send the goods back. So they're upset. So the relationship with our suppliers is very important. They clearly know the rules. And then let's go on to, do we pay them? Because some companies think it's clever not to pay the suppliers. Hey, we want a relationship, let's pay them. Our job is to keep them in business. We want to build a relationship. And it's amazing how people will look after those that pay them on time, every time. Oh, we don't want to upset them. Oh. So payment back to our suppliers is very important. And this builds again in the whole culture of the relationship and the service. And again, we should be expecting our suppliers to train our staff and the relationship that goes on there in certain instances. So again, they can bring their knowledge in about their particular products. And again, it cements a relationship. So the whole customer ethos that goes back to the suppliers is all part. It's another piece of that little jigsaw.